you're going to need your LLM model, you're going to need to know which models you are going to support in your organization. You want to be able to provide inference, which is essentially the API endpoint that your users can connect to these models, implement access control, and then finally you get to your application. So where Nutanix helps with, like many of the things that we've done, right, is automating and simplifying a lot of that complexity. So starting with the Nutanix Cloud Platform as the kind of infrastructure and data services layer, and then adding on top of that Nutanix Enterprise AI to help you deploy LLMs and deploy inference endpoints is how we're helping kind of eliminate some of that complexity so you can get to the application piece of it. Back when ChatGPT came out, right, we saw a lot of need for something like this in the market, and so we launched something called GPT in a Box back in August of 2023, and this was kind of just a open source tool, the CLI based, but it really got people up and running quickly, connecting to model repositories and Hugging Face. It got you up and running quickly, but we saw that we really needed something a little more template, a little more simplified. And so we kind of enhanced this from what we call GPT in a Box 1.0 to GPT in a Box 2.0. And so the same core platform underneath, enhanced cloud infrastructure, running on those Cisco GPU-enabled servers, and then connecting to our storage. And then finally on top you have your AI applications. So we have the foundation there. You're going to be either deploying or building Gen AI apps, but you have to think about something new, right? You have to think about the model repository, who's going to access these models, how you're going to provide this inference endpoint service, and day two operations. How are you going to know what's the impact of them? And so that's really where Nutanix Enterprise AI comes in, right? So looking at the screenshot here, right? We're logging in here as an admin, so we have an overview of all of the endpoints, all of the API requests coming in, the top 5 endpoints, the top 5 API keys, and essentially it's kind of 4 easy steps to get started. So you either upload a model manually into your file share or object storage, or we can connect directly to the NVIDIA MGC catalog or Hugging Face for pre-validated models. Once you have a model, is essentially your API endpoint for connecting to that model. So as the IT admin, and say I have a developer asking me they want the latest Llama model, for example. I can come in here, download that model, create that endpoint. I can test it out before I hand it over to my developer, and then I can send the API key and the details over as well. And then they can use that in their application. So any application that supports generic OpenAI, or if they're developing their own, you can connect directly to that API endpoint. And of course, right, customers want an end-to-end solution, so we're providing the inference endpoint service, right, again, running on Cisco GPU-enabled hardware, but we have a wide variety of AI ecosystems, including Robust Intelligence, which was recently acquired by Cisco. And so we're working out joint solutions with these partners for specific use cases, because again, you need to have that whole picture there. Now I have a minute left here, so I'll just go quickly through the last few slides, but just quickly on how we use Gen AI internally. So this is our own support chatbot to help our support engineers get up and running quickly. So they have an increase in productivity on their first day. Their onboarding is lessened. Faster response times to case closures. So instead of our support engineers having to dig through KBs, they're able to just ask this chatbot a simple question, and it'll give an answer, and of course cite their sources. So just a quick example of how we're actually using that internally. And of course, I want to talk a little bit about our partnership with Cisco. So, we announced with Cisco in October of 2023 to be able to kind of streamline, support deployment and purchase of Cisco Compute Hyperconverged with Nutanix to help you get up and running quickly, simplify the whole process, and have that resilient hyperconverged solution. And as part of that, right, we have our validated designs, one of which we have several with Cisco. Cisco has their Cisco validated designs, several of those, and so we have one for GPT in a box. This came out about a year ago, I want to say, and there's a new updated one coming out very shortly. But this essentially is an example of how our joint technology can help solve real-world use cases. So in this case, we're covering a retrieval augmented generation use case, which is essentially being able to use your own documents and data connected to something like a chatbot app. So this provides a complete blueprint on everything you need to follow the design, build it out in your own environment. And finally, we'll just wrap it up with some resources. So a couple of links to check out. We have Nutanix.com/, actually you can just go to Nutanix.com/AI, and then also Nutanix.com/UCS for all of our Cisco and Nutanix resources, including all of the Cisco validated designs that I mentioned. Which I'll take a picture, and then we also have our AI on Nutanix YouTube playlist for some videos on the product itself. Come on over to the booth to look at a demo as well. We also have a test drive that you can do as well. So with that, I will wrap it up. So thank you for listening.